Hi, I'm Gavin. Slightly different surroundings today, but what we're going to talk about is my Pentax K1 videos seem to be quite popular, so I thought I'd like move on a bit and do a lens. Now I've got lots of Pentax lenses. I've used them for years on traditional film Pentax cameras, and I've got a lot of primes. Now on the K1, this one here, this beast here, I originally started with I think it's the 28 to 105, which is like the kit lens. It was okay, but I mean, it wasn't really stellar as a performer. And the lens I always wanted was the 24 to 70. Now that was very expensive when it first came out. I think it was like £1,500. So I sort of skipped on that, stuck with primes. Now I've got some great primes of 50, 43, all those kind of things. And I managed to sort of get by on the zooms with using this, which is a old school Tokina ATX Pro 28 to 70. And this is a great lens, but it's got all the characteristics of old lenses. Chromatic aberration, it's got a bit of purple fringing, and you can clean it up, and it's not super sharp. It's a bit softer, but it got me out of a lot of sticky situations where I needed to, change lens, have more access to focal lengths without having to switch lenses. And it's worked. I mean, it works great, this does, on the film Pentax cameras. So the lens I've always been after is basically this one, which is the 24 to 70 2.8. And to give it its full designation, EDSMWR DFA. So Pentax Digit HD, it's got this special coating. Pentax D digital, FA, I believe that means full frame, ED extra dispersion elements, SDM is supersonic sump drive motor, and WR means it's water resistant. Now, when these, as I said, these were expensive when they first came out, and they were difficult to get hold of. Obviously not difficult, but they were just expensive. So over time though, people are getting rid of their Pentaxes and they're shifting to other platforms, I'd imagine. So these things are coming up second hand. I got this from MPB, and I think it was like 800 quid, which is an absolute bargain. So finally got one. Here's what I talk about it. I mean, it's everything it's meant to be. It's one of the best lenses I've ever used on a Pentax camera. I believe it's from a Tamron design, but Pentax have stepped in and added their extra coatings, ED, extra dispersion elements, things like this, their coatings they put on it. And it's absolutely a brilliant lens. And now, obviously, construction-wise, it's a tank. It's a really big. I mean, compared to the other one, I mean, it's like much bigger. And it's one of these trombone lenses, so when you extend it, it comes all the way out to the front and back. But then, obviously, when you focus it, that doesn't move. It's really solid construction. And it is a huge, chunky piece of glass, and you can see it sort of really builds the size of that camera out enormously. But is it any good? I mean, you can look at the reviews online. There's a really good one on the Pentax forums that goes through it really in depth, and I can't add anything to that. It does have a few issues with barrel distortion on the 24 end, but when you get 50 and 70, it's fine. But you can cure those things with the inbuilt sort of barrel distortion controls, and also when you're in Lightroom or Capture One, you can do that as well. It's got very little chromatic aberration, next to none, and fringing at all. I mean, it's a superb lens. I have to say this, of all the lenses, including some of the primes, I think this sort of trumps them. So if you're looking at, Pentax still have the K1 out there, the Mark II's out with this autofocus update, but you can get the K1 reasonably cheaply if you want a full frame camera. Now the trick is, I mean, you're looking for all the lenses. I'd hunt around for a second-hand one of these if you can get it, and then you'll realise you don't really need lots of other lenses, because this will cover, it's 24, so you've got a nice wide, and then it's also 70mm, so you've also got, you can get in there, portraits, all that stuff, and it's a really, the imagery out of it is phenomenal. I had a really big shoot the other day, and I just got this, and I gave it a go, and it literally, no post-processing and no real tweaking at all in Lightroom or Capture One. I use Capture One. It just did the job, and the colours look great from the camera. It was just really good. Autofocus wise, it's pretty quick. Yeah, it's pretty quick in both normal mode and in live view. And yeah, it's just, you can jump in as well, and you can sort of manually focus it if you want to. It's got a locking mechanism on it to lock So it doesn't, hang on, how does that lock there? That lock there? Got a locking mechanism, not, so you want it completely back, completely, back in its chassis, it's locked. Unlock it, and then you can bring it out. It doesn't move around, but it doesn't move around anyway. It's really solid construction. But yeah, and it's constant aperture, so it's 28, it's f2.8 all the way down the line to 70mm, which is great. I mean, the 28-105 I originally had didn't have that, and then obviously if you go into the primes, you're stuck. You're sort of like, you can't really do as much as you want to do because you've got to keep switching, walk forward, walk back, all that sort of business. But yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good lens. So I mean, to follow on from my K1 video, and I just say it's a great camera, which it is a great camera. I think I would now safely say that this combination of the K1 plus a 24-70 would basically be, going forward, this is pretty much what I'll always use. I don't think it's, and although I've got like the 43mm and the 50s, and I've got really nice 28, this is just as good as those primes. It's a really, really good lens. So, I mean, if you get a K1, if you've got a K1 and you don't have this lens, look around for a second-hand one. I highly recommend it. It really is a bit of a game changer with this camera because, you're done, fundamentally. As I said before, the K1 is a remarkable camera. They still haven't brought out a new version of it yet. Well, they've updated it a bit, but it's just a great camera if you want to do photography. With this lens on the front, you can literally do anything you like. I know there's a 15-30 wide zoom. I've not tried that. I mean, I don't know if I need to try that. But yeah, so there you go. Anyway, okay, so thanks for watching.